Well, in today's episode of Value in My Toy Collection, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and value some of our pageant collection, which we're combining our toy and pageant collection together since we're putting it all in our toy museum in Crystal Springs, Mississippi, which is opening in the fall of 2026. One entire room at the Toy Museum will be dedicated to beauty pageants. So we have the Miss America throne chair there and lots of memorabilia over the years. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. Let's start out with this Miss America board game. It's worth about $50. Next we have a Miss Universe purse from the Host Hotel from 1978. And this is worth about $45, maybe a little bit more. Have a vintage Miss America lunchbox. It does not have the thermos, so this one's probably worth about $25. Then we have a Miss Universe flag, probably used at a state pageant or a country pageant, and it's handmade and it's worth about $150. And there's my beautiful helper Daisy watching me. We have a Miss Universe scarf from 1999, and this is probably worth about $25. Now, all of this is an official Miss America or Universe merchandise. It's like little princess merchandise, but they're little girls that had crowns on them and everything. So I did include it in all of our pageant memorabilia. And altogether, all of this stuff's probably just worth about $25. I'd say roughly $5 each. Had this autographed picture of Doris Majeski, who was Mrs. Mississippi America in 1980. Probably only worth about $5, but she was a great lady, and we're keeping that picture. Miss America hat's worth about $10. A picture frame is worth $5. This Miss Universe magnet's probably just worth a couple dollars, maybe $2 or $3. And this old natural white teeth whitening system had Miss America on the box promoting the product. It's probably worth about $10. We've got some old Vanessa Williams CDs. These are probably worth about $5 each. And then we have all these trading cards. These are Topps, Allen, and Gunter cards, and I'd say they're worth only about $2 each, and we have 6 of them, so that's about $12 for all of those. They didn't keep their value at all, but they really weren't that expensive to buy. I think they were maybe $5 when I bought them, so just a couple dollars each. And we have, I think that's like 2012 through 2013 and maybe 14. All right, we have all these little Kittle clone dolls. They were like Miss World contestants, and they're very collectible. On eBay they go up to like $15 each, but I'm going to value all these at $7 each that are still in the container, which I think they're worth more than that. But we have 24 of those, so that's $168 we can add to our total. Then I found a bunch of them that we had loose out of the containers, and I'll value those at $5 each, so that's another $50. And our little Miss September is worth $5. Got these Jenny dolls. This one is America's Sweetheart. She's worth about $30, and then the Jenny Miss Millennium dolls worth about $20, and they're both still in their box, like brand new. And this is what their box looks like. All right, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got these vintage cake toppers that look like pageant contestants to me, and I think this whole set is worth about $20. And then we have these little international dolls. Now, these weren't official pageants, but they do have like pageant names at the bottom. There's several that say Miss USA, different versions. So I'll value these at least $5 each. We have 7 of those, so that's $35 we can add to our overall grand total at the end of the video. Now we've got this doll advertisement that's pretty cool. It shows where you could order these dolls for just $1 each. It was actually pretty cool. You could get 12 different dolls, and it was offered from a potato chip company of all places. But that's a pretty cool set to have. Now I found these little dolls. These say Miss Universe, but they couldn't be official because they're so cheap. They look like made in China. But I figured they're worth at least $6 each. Got a little crown squeak toy my dog would love for $2. A little crown napkin ring worth about $2. And this really cool set of Miss Universe like drink stirrers or drink holders still in the box. Probably worth about $20 because the box is a little old. And then we've got this box of Miss America shoes. Now, I don't know if this was official from the Miss America pageant or a company just called themselves Miss America and made shoes and purses. But they're worth at least $20 still in the box. A little pageant girl night lights worth a couple dollars. And then these 1982 Elizabeth Ward drinking cups from her university are worth at least $5 each. Got a couple belt buckles. I figure the set of these would be worth about $15, probably a little bit more than that. And then we have a little Miss Mississippi souvenir doll worth at least $10. Those were very collectible in the 70s. I have a Miss America interview DVD worth about $25. And we've got all these cups from different pageants. 10 different cup sets, and they're not worth a fortune. Most of them are from the Miss Mississippi pageant when I went every year. I went about 15 years in a row, and I'd say they're worth about $3 each, so that's about $30 for all the Miss Mississippi cups. And then I've got this cool doll. She's worth about $100. She's made of like resin, but when we went to the Miss America pageant in Atlantic City, we got this from an upscale gift shop, and it was a little more than $100. And then this cheaper version right here, she's worth about $30. I've got this whole set of Hard Rock Cafe pins honoring the Miss America pageant each year in Atlantic City. And it's probably worth a little bit more than $100 for all of them, but I'm just going to make it easy and say all of them are worth $100 total. This is a little pageant we put on one year called Dixie Diamond, and all this little memorabilia I'd say worth about $2 each. These are little ceramic pageant girls I made in college for our art show, and they didn't win any awards or anything, but they were super cute, and I have 10 of them, and I'd say they're worth at least $6 each. So $60 for the set, and the 2 small ones are worth about $3 each. Then I found a couple more little kittles worth $10. 2025 Miss America program book is worth about $50, and this one was so hard to find. The 2024 worth about $100 because you could only get it at the pageant. Now here's a 2023 program book, still worth about $40. And then the 21-22 book was one because of COVID. It's worth about $30. The 2000 is worth about, I think all of these are going to be worth about $15 each until we get to about 2001. Sometimes they'll go a little bit more than that, but that's kind of like an average price, so we don't have to look up every single one. Now, the Miss America pageant was still going strong in these years. I think their heyday was actually in the 70s and 80s, but I love the Miss America pageant. I always will love it, but it's just not as popular as it used to be. I will probably always get a Miss America program book. I like to get it before the pageant. But like this year, I paid to get it before the pageant, and I got it the day of the pageant or the day after the pageant. But it's just kind of fun to see all the pictures, you know, before the pageant actually starts. You can find the girls online, but I don't know. It's just more fun if you have the book and kind of read about them and that type of thing. Now, all the way until one more year, we're going to say $15 each, maybe with Heather French there for the 2000 book. We'll start saying these are more like $10 each, maybe $15 for some of them, but they're just not worth that much on eBay. I'm really shocked because like your old Miss USA and Miss Universe books will go for $100 to $300 each because I guess it's just a bigger market of people around the world collecting Miss Universe. But Miss America, they might have also printed too many copies of each of these program books, but a lot of the times you can find these for about $10 online. But a lot of the times, you know, when you add shipping and everything, you're still up about $15 a book. But just to make it easy, I'm going to say about $10 each. Now we're getting into the 1980s program books, and actually the 1980s Miss America pageants were my favorite decade of pageants in all pageant systems, but especially Miss America, and the talent was just incredible back then. Now this Suzette Charles program book, this one coming up right here with the black cover, this one's worth more like $75. It's really hard to find. And then this is the Vanessa Williams book that didn't actually become the national book. It was more for locals, but it was worth $40. And then going back to these with the painted covers, these are more like your $10 range. But like I said, some people will pay a little bit more than that if they need a certain year, but that's just an average price, I think. Now, we'll go all the way for $10 until about 1979, right about there. And then from 1978, this one with Susan Perkins on the cover, all the way down to about, I'd say about 1954. They're going to go back to about $15 a book. They become a little bit more valuable and collectible. But like a couple of these, I know the 1971 book or 72 book, it took me forever to find that. And actually I went to Miss America one year and they had like a flea market on the boardwalk, and that's where I found one of the ones I couldn't find anywhere. But now you can find them everywhere on the internet. The internet's just amazing. It was hard before, when you were a collector, before the internet started. Now, these are all from the 60s. They're beautiful program books. The winners back then looked really regal, and they were all sponsored by different hair products and different designer. Like, I think Everglade was one of the sponsors back then that made custom dresses for the winners, and they were in a lot of the ads. Now, these are still the early 60s. I actually own the Miss America pageant throne chair, too, where the winners from that one, 1962 to 1963? 1963 to 1972 all sat in the throne chair, and that's a pretty cool piece of history. Now we're getting into the books from the 50s. So I think from 1953 until 1947, these books are going to be worth about $25 each. They start becoming a little more valuable as they get older, and it's really hard to find the super old ones. So I think I almost have a full set, but I'm missing some from the early days, and I don't even know if they had program books. I think they did, but I'm not 100% sure. Then here our program books are actually going back to the 1940s. They're in really good shape to be so old. So let's see, I think that's the 49 book. This is the 48 book. This is the 47 book. So this is the 1946 book. It's worth more like $50. And then this 45 book's worth about $50. And this 1944 book with Jean Bartel, the 43 winner on the cover, is worth about $75. And these are the oldest ones I have. 1941 is worth about $100. And then next to it, we have one from 1939. I had a couple from the 30s. This one, it has Miss America 1938 on the cover, and that's worth about $100. And then we have this one from 1935, and it's worth about $100. That one's really hard to find. This one's a different program book. It's from 1981. It's a 60-year book, and it's worth about $30. It's almost like an alternate version of the other program book from 1981. It's kind of weird, but I have it. This is a Miss America magazine with our Miss Mississippi on the cover, worth about $5. And Saturday Evening Post magazine with Charlene Wells on the cover, worth about $5. And I had one random Miss Universe program book I had missed in my other video. It's worth $125. Well, in our previous 492 videos of value in my toy collection, our collection was worth $1,260,468. And when we add this video of our beauty pageant items, we can add another $3,167 to our grand total. So that means for episode 493 of Value in My Toy Collection, our collection is now worth $1,263,635. Now, I always wanted to say I had $1 million toy collection, and now I can finally say that. I'm not really a millionaire though. That's not cash money. I guess I'm just toy rich or something. But I've just been saving this stuff all my life, going to thrift stores and garage sales, flea markets, looking online, going to toy stores, and it's just accumulated to this big old total. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I just like to see what I have and what it's worth, and it's a good way for me to inventory this big old collection. And if you want to see everything up close and a little bit slower, I put everything on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please think about doing so, because it certainly helps us grow. So until our next video, we will see you then.